Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all keeping very well. As you can see from the description, this video will mostly be about the office building which I've been constructing, which you can just about see in the background there. Made a fair amount of progress on that, and that's pretty much where my attention's been for the last couple of weeks or so, just doing bits and pieces as and when. No progress on the rest of the layout, so I won't show you that because it's pretty much as it was. The only thing I have been considering, which if anyone wants to sort of give any input, that'd be much appreciated, was whether to add a back scene to the layout or not. I'll just show you. As you can see at the moment, it's all just plain. It's like a light blue colour, but it doesn't show up very well on the camera. But it's a bit boring. There's not really anything there to sort of capture the imagination, and it doesn't really give much of a sense of depth. I've got a few things sort of up against the back already, which would make it a little bit tricky to install a back scene, but I do think it's possible. I was thinking some kind of sort of industrial background might look quite good. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on that one. As I say, it's something I'm sort of considering at the moment, just to add a bit more interest and kind of give a bit more of an appearance of depth to the layout, because it is quite shallow, and as I say, there's nothing really there to sort of draw the eyes back and to kind of give that impression of depth at the moment. So yeah, that's something I'm considering. But as I say, let me know your thoughts. I have been having a look around just to see what's available, and sort of seen a couple that look like with a bit of trimming they might work quite well. But yeah, not 100% sure on that one at the moment. But yeah, as I say, this video is primarily about the office building. So without further ado, I will crack on and show you what I've been getting up to. Okay, so we're back with the office build. As you can see, a fair amount of progress has been made. I've managed to clad all the exterior with the brickwork, which has made a big difference to the way it looks. Starting to look a lot more like a proper building now. So what I've used is the Slater's brick embossed plasticard. It's about, I don't know, about 0.5mm thick, I think, so it's very easy to work with. It looks quite good. This is the stuff here that I've used in this red colour. In hindsight, I probably should have clad the exterior walls with the plasticard before I put the building together. It would have been a lot more straightforward. Trying to sort of cut out the cutouts where the windows and the doors are. As it turns out, it was a bit of a time-consuming job to do to get it accurate, but it's worked out well in the end. So it's looking a lot better. It's obviously been painted. I'm quite pleased with the way it's come out. To get the colour that I've used, it was I started off with a fairly bright red. I'm not sure what shade it was, but just a sort of fairly typical bright red, and then added some burnt sienna to it just to sort of tone it down into more of a reddy brown colour, and then added a bit of burnt umber just to darken it down a little bit further. Just applied that with a brush. In a fairly sort of uneven way, because I didn't want to sort of even a kind of texture or finish to it. And then once that's dried, to get the mortar lines, I've used a Woodland Phoenix concrete colour, which I've darkened down ever slightly with a little bit of grey, and then watered it down just to turn it into a wash. Washed it all over the brickwork, and then given it a minute or so just to sort of start to take hold, and then wiped the majority of it off, which has obviously left the mortar lines, and then also given the actual brickwork a bit of a sort of washed out, kind of slightly faded look, which I think looks quite good. Next job to do is just to tidy up some of the edges. As you can see, sort of on these edges here, there's a little bit of an overhang. I've already sort of started to cut that one, that's why it looks a bit rough. But yeah, these just need filing down just to neaten them up. Also, it doesn't quite sit perfectly flat, so I just need to file down the bottoms just to get it sitting perfectly flat. And then I've got these little kind of fillet parts here, which will sit in those edges there by the windows, just to neaten those up. And then I've also got these little pieces here which will fit in there. They'll need trimming down slightly because they're not quite the right size yet, but they'll go in there just to neaten up the bottom. And then the panels here, which I'll probably leave them just as white. I've got some white plasticard which I'll cut to fit in there. And that will be probably 90% of the exterior done. I'm going to add some evergreen square strip along the underside of the roof to represent like guttering, and then maybe put some downpipes and then a few other items of detail. But yeah, adding the brickwork has made a big difference. It's kind of turned it from being a fairly rough looking cardboard cutout to something that looks a bit more like a proper building. So I'm really pleased with the way that's come out, and particularly the colouring as well. I'm really happy with the way that looks. I think that looks quite good. So yeah, the next stage then is just to, as I say, to neaten up a few edges, add these little strips and sort of other bits of brickwork in just to finish off the brickwork. And yeah, I'll crack on with that, and then we'll be back once I've done that. So we're back on the layout now. As you can see, I've put the building in place roughly, just to get an idea of how it's going to look. I've added some of the other details that I mentioned earlier, sort of finish off the brickwork. So there's a few more details to do on the exterior, and then I can turn my attention to the interior a bit more. I've done a little bit of work around this scene. As you can see, the yellow tube and clamp barrier, which I got from Scale Model Scenery. And then behind the building, I've just sort of started to add a little bit of greenery and just kind of build up the rough sort of waste ground look I'm going for in that area behind there. But yeah, pretty pleased with how it's gone so far. This was the one sort of bare area of the layout that hadn't really had much work done on it. So to get this up to a sort of point where it kind of looks okay is a bit of a relief. But yeah, still a bit more to do on this area just to finish it off. But yeah, I can crack on with that over the next sort of few days and weeks. So yeah, that's about it for this video. Once again, thank you for everyone that's subscribed and that takes the time to leave your comments. Do read them all, and I do appreciate it. If you'd like to subscribe, please do. Anything that you haven't seen on the layout that you'd like to see, again, drop in the comments below, and I'll do my best to make a video on it. But in the meantime, take care. I hope you're all keeping well, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.